Alright, today's mod of the day is a bit different from what we normally showcase, because the point of today's mod of the day isn't really necessarily to play the mod, but rather to download it in support of humanitarian relief efforts in Ukraine. Because today's mod of the day is Sunflowers and Morrowind for Ukraine by Alice L93. Now, as I'm sure most of you are probably already aware, unless you've been burying your heads in the sand or in Kremlin propaganda, Russia has launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and according to the latest UN reports, 2.3 million people have fled the country over the western borders, half of those children, and 1.9 million people have been displaced internally within Ukraine, and not to mention the millions more who are now living in active war zones. With the seemingly deliberate and indiscriminate targeting of civilian infrastructure and residential areas. This is just truly a humanitarian catastrophe, and just as a note here, I do want to draw a distinction between the Russian people and the Russian government. This war is the construction of the Russian government, not the Russian people. It is the utter genocidal maniac Vladimir Putin and his cronies in the Kremlin that have created this conflict, not the Russian people, who are in some ways also victims of this war, certainly in terms of economic sanctions. But anyway, getting back to the actual mod here, and sort of the background behind this mod, this was created to support the Nexus mod's humanitarian relief fundraiser for the Red Cross and their mission in Ukraine. Basically, for those of you who might not be familiar with how the Nexus mod does their whole donation point system, basically modders can opt in their mods to support various charities, or in this case, relief fundraisers for different organizations, and all of the donation points that they generate, which is generated by unique downloads, goes basically to those organizations. Now, personally, I don't really have a whole lot of experience with the Nexus mods and their donation point system. I only just opted in my mods back in January, and only half of them, so I only opted in half in January and the other half in February. So I don't have a huge amount of experience with the donation point system, but from what I understand, about 1,000 donation points is the equivalent of $1 American. And weirdly, I don't actually know how the calculations for the donation points work. So in February, I had about 179 unique downloads on the mods that I had opted in to support various charities, mostly Doctors Without Borders and the Red Cross. And those 179 downloads, unique downloads, generated about 1,000 donation points. So, I don't know, it's a bit weird how that works, and I'm not entirely sure what the behind-the-scenes math is. But either way, this is a way that you can, help the international relief efforts in Ukraine without actually having to really, donate anything. All you have to do is download the mod. That'll generate a unique download, which will generate donation points, which will go to help the relief efforts by the Red Cross in Ukraine. Though if you do want to actually, directly donate, there are links on the mod page to a ton of charities and organizations that are, supporting the humanitarian relief efforts on the ground. And you'll also find links to a ton of those just down in the video description below. And, in addition to supporting the humanitarian relief efforts, this mod also doesn't look too bad, actually. I know we haven't actually talked too much about the mod, but basically it adds a ton of sunflowers just across the Ascadian Isles. And these are sunflowers that drop sunflower seeds, a new alchemical ingredient. And honestly, these sunflowers really don't look too bad here. It's actually a bit surprising because they are kind of an older model. The sunflower, models here come from the CAG's Modders Resources, and CAG's was kind of more active in the late aughts and early 2010s. I don't think they've been around at all in the last decade, so these models are a bit old in that respect. But really, they don't look too bad here. They kind of blend in fairly well with the Ascadian Isles, and if you're looking for this, for just a minor landscape change in the Ascadian Isles, you might just want to, actually install and play this mod. Though, again, you should absolutely download it just to support the International Red Cross and their relief efforts in Ukraine, because, again, just by downloading, you are supporting them. And, that's a good thing, right? We can all agree that helping humanitarian efforts is a good thing. But anyway, that is basically our mod of the day, and I do apologise if it was a little intense or a bit of a downer. Unfortunately, the current circumstances do kind of call for that a bit. As a reminder, in case you think that the war doesn't really affect you, please remember that a lot of modders in our community are from Ukraine, and quite a few of them have been displaced or are otherwise in danger because of this conflict. So, please spare a thought for them, and, please download this mod and, support the relief efforts. But anyway, I'm going to leave off here. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.